and abducted during the last regime, but it was your regime.
Absolutely.
You were in Jubilee. Same Jubilee people were killing each other. Now they wanted me to now come in and begin to sort out how they are killing each other, me as a member of parliament from Kisii. I did not understand that this thing has always existed and it's been systemic. All right? I can tell you, Ayub, that my brother Nelson Harvey, I have been here discussing about why is our country constantly looking as if it is deliberately being broken down by certain individuals. And of course, Nelson will jump and say, you are now accusing the president. No. Some of the people who are doing the things that are being done, the president may not know. And we've constantly said, Eddie, you've been with me. How many times have we said, we are not anti-government? I am not against the broad-based government, but I don't want Joho and Wandai and John Badi to start lecturing Kenyans as if this country is their shop where they're selling potatoes and oranges, and without them, those people can't get those things. We had the good manners. We had the good behavior, where we don't tribalize development, where we don't tribalize our communities. I mean, there are certain things which are happening, and you are like, why would somebody make a decision like that? So what we are saying, my brother Koech, is this. We want to have good manners. We want to have a country where I criticize you. You see how we are sitting here, and you are telling me, and I'm listening. I may not argue, I may argue against you the way you're arguing, but imagine whatever you are saying is getting into my head. Because I'm an averagely normal person. When I listen to Nelson Harvey, 90 or 80 or 40% of the things he'll say, they make sense. What he doesn't make sense with, I'll leave it alone. That's how we've been operating at the Senate with Kina Eddie. Not all of us know everything that is happening. We consult. What we are saying, how do you save this country with its myriad problems? And some of us are saying, please, get whoever that matters, whether it is Jacob Raila, whether it is President William Ruto, whether it is Kina Musalia and Wetanda. Can these people get up and realize they are the wazes who are left in the room? That this country is bigger than all of us, and this country can actually be saved if people took it a little bit more seriously. And what some of us are saying, Ayub, we are actually playing with our country. I mean, look at, go to the paper and count the stories you see. I mean, my brother is saying that if somebody walks into the airport, he'll think all of us who are on TV are crazy. No, we are not. I mean, the headline is about kids who are abducted. Then you come and look at how the parents are struggling with the books.
The papers.
No, I'm saying, but all of them are referring the same.
Not an authority.
No. It's public opinion.
Can we chime in?
Yes, you can.
Because I think.
Allow me, a senator to make a point.
I was listening very hard. You know, I was trying to listen as much as possible, and again, I like going back to the concept of a new year, new resolutions, new way. We are starting a new year with bad manners of last year, and that is not how our country should go. That means that our country is in the wrong direction. And I was very deliberate with some of my questions to my colleagues here. You know, I have a very simple question of why was it that during the most atrocious moments...
I was depressed.
I'm coming to that. And I listened to your answer. I'm going to reflect on it. And I'm not using it against you. I'm just giving a concept that we can all embrace as leaders. It's just an opinion that I've said that I think the country is going in the wrong direction on three accounts, my brother Ayub. Number one, on the basis of fighting for human rights, it cannot be an issue of convenience. It cannot be an issue of politics. I insist on that it cannot be a political convenient issue where there's time that you can be silent and there's time that you can be louder than any other person. I don't believe that cheerleaders of yesterday on human rights atrocities can be the heroes of today on the same atrocities, unless the functionality must be that they have apologized for being cheerleaders of previous mistakes. Because that's the only way you become the altar of fighting for human rights. It's just like when you go to church or you go to a mosque, there is a basic tradition that makes you a Muslim. there's a basic tradition that makes you a Christian. You must be baptized if you're a Christian. You must read the Fatiha when you are a Muslim. If you are a cheerleader of human rights atrocities in the past, you cannot be a hero of today without that baptism into that theater. Because you cannot tell us that you today you want to be a hero of abductors, that because you lost an election, when Raila Amolo Odinga has lost an election every year in, year out, and still stands and fights for violation of human rights. A number of people have lost elections. So many people, even the loss that we had in 2002 of the presidential election was a big one. But we still stood very strong and fought for that human rights violation. So that's number one. Our country cannot have cheerleaders of atrocities now rising on the theater of heroism and heroic acts. That is politics. Number two, Ayub, elections in our country must have a meaning. And I've been listening the way Onyonka and Koech have been battling each other, who was in Jubilee, who was in that. The other time we were with you, Ayub, with Dr. Ekuro Aukot. And I told him a statement which I still stand with today. Elections must have a meaning in our country. You cannot make a decision in the ballot today, and then, after making that decision, then you go to the kitchen and expect a different result. I have said particularly that I do not have responsibility on this government, because I did not elect this government. But because I did not elect it, all the mistakes that Avi did by supporting Ruto in the past, or any other people who supported Ruto to come here, cannot be my responsibility now to correct.
But,
my responsibility
I'm
coming to that. As a citizen, my responsibility is to work as a senator, which have been given a very, very noble opportunity by the people of Migori, and I thank them all the time. And also, being able to call out what is going on wrong in this government and assist where I can to the level best possible by passing good laws, by advising on right things, both for the president and his teams, where they can be able to do better and continuing going well. And that goes to my last point, which is about that must be translated in terms of resource gaps in some communities. Because some communities are more equal than others in this country. And resources must be shared in a way that there are no people who are more Kenyan than others.
Absolutely.
And this is something that the president must work very hard on in the next 2-3 years. Because I've seen comments that people use this theater of abductions to now rally their communities behind them. It's serious. They're rallying their communities behind them on the theater of abductions. And that's why I was calling them cheerleaders of bad manners in the past, and now want to be heroes. And they're running their communities. I sit in Finance and Budget Committee in the Senate.
Is he talking about?
Do you know that the biggest pending bills in this country, the biggest pending bills, especially in infrastructure, are 70% going towards finishing projects in one region in this country? We must sit and reflect as a country that we do not play in the theater of politics on young people who have been abducted and use us as an excuse of mischief to build our own political echelons when we can actually be sincere about human rights.
The Constitution outlines that fairness and equity is paramount, as Senator Onyonka said, but the manner in which this is done is largely those who implement it.
Yes.
I'll sample the feedback in a moment. I'll come to you, Councillor Harvey. You mentioned that you do not support in any way the Kenya Kwanza administration.
I said I did not support it into leadership. But now that it is there, right, I'm very clear about what we must correct, what we must criticize, and what we must endorse to work for the country. For instance, I strongly endorse the idea of expansion of a space where more Kenyan can be included into the resource sharing gap in the country, which is what the Broadwell government is. That needs to be supported.
I assume your party leader hasn't voted for William Ruto.
Yes.
But he is a staunch supporter of his government today.
Yes. What is the problem with it?
You don't.
I said I did not support President Ruto for 2022 elections.
Neither did your party leader.
Yes, but now we are supporting that government's agenda of expanding the resource-based sharing in this country to the extent that it is more inclusive if you look at it now than if you look at it in 2022 when the government was constituted. It is eminent. Like when the government was constituted, it was not as inclusive as it is right now. And that one we support. And that's why I'm saying that areas where we are having serious gap like security, because I think that the function of government is two. One is to ensure that there's security in the country, and number two, create a serious precondition for businesses and people to be able to thrive. And to the extent that we are seeing these gaps in abductions, we must be able to call out the government to be able to put an infrastructure that deals with it in a manner that is not politicking for convenience by what we are seeing with some cheerleaders who have been violators of human rights now coming in very strongly to want to become heroes on this theater of abduction of young people.
And
that's what I'm making very clear.
Okay, and there are many government agendas, Senator Eddie, and your party leader supported, for instance, the Adani deal projects. Was he right?
I think he was right. In the sense that, listen, I know, yes, that's a question which is very, no, Ayub, this is a very important question.
By the indictment?
No, wait. It's a very important question that if I don't elaborate, you might hold me wrong. Raila Odinga was very clear on what we call PPP. There are three ways to be able, and I'm going to say it very fast in 1 minute if you allow me.